Hi Aquarius, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of January. We've had a very difficult year with this historical lineup of planets in Capricorn, signifying the real epic of Capricorn, of mass death and rebirth and collapsing of old structures and paradigms in our lives. And it's been tremendously difficult. And for you, all of that story took place in your house of endings. So you've been releasing a lot. You've been releasing the last 28 years of many other things prior to this, because Saturn has been transiting in your, or was transiting in your house of endings and the subconscious mind from December 20th of 2017 until December 17th of 2020. And that can be a difficult cycle. It's like you're doing a wrap up of all the years before that. Whether or not you've been around this whole time, you're still going through a lot of release and endings. Pluto's been transiting in that house since 2008, and that brings a lot of endings and loss and a lot of psychological flare-ups as well. And Jupiter transited in that house from December 2nd of 2019 until December 19th of 2020. And that expanded this whole narrative of restructuring and rebirth. And hopefully you were able to heal yourself in this process, 'cause it's not an easy one. A lot of endings, a lot of letting go. Now you're in a major time of new beginnings, because on December 17th, Saturn entered your sign, and it's going to be there on and off until March of 2023. Jupiter also entered that sign, and it entered on December 19th of 2020, and it's going to be in your sign of Aquarius on and off until December 29th of 2021. This is really exciting. Jupiter brings infinite possibilities in Aquarius. Doesn't like being in Capricorn. It's in its fall position there because it's trying to expand within restrictions. In Aquarius, it expands through networking and connection and intellectual pursuits and innovation and ingenuity and humanitarianism. So that is really exciting. And Saturn is going to anchor our goals as well. Saturn and Jupiter met up on the winter solstice on December 21st at 0 degrees and 29 minutes of your sign. And this ushered in the real age of Aquarius, which I think is very exciting. I think it's going to bring infinite possibility. We went through a lot of loss and of old ways, and now we are going into new beginnings. Whether we like it or not, we have to embrace change. You are a fixed sign. You can be stubborn, like all fixed signs are, but you're also the sign of chaos and awakening, and it's fixed change. It's what we're all going to be experiencing. And if we do it right, it can bring very interesting possibilities. So we begin the month on January 1st. Mercury is transiting in the sign of Capricorn, and it forms what's known as a sextile, which is an aspect of opportunity, to Neptune, the planet of dreams and imagination. And that's a day for you to really reflect on what you want to manifest and create through your thoughts, your dreams. Write it down, say it out loud. What do you want with the age of Aquarius? On the 4th of January, Mercury meets up with Pluto. That can be harsh energy for communication, but it also can be excellent for doing all forms of research and really getting to the bottom of things, doing some healing work as well. On the 6th of January, Mars enters the sign of Taurus and enters your house of home and emotional foundation. And it's going to be transiting in that house until March 5th of this year. So a lot of focus around fixing up your home, trying to get your needs met because you're going through such new beginnings. And recognize too that Saturn has not been in your sign for a long time. It was in Aquarius from 1991 until 1994. Some of you may remember what was going on then. Some of you have not dealt with it in your sign yet. It's a huge time in your life. It's the Saturn return of the internet and it's going to bring a whole new digital revolution, that is for sure. And it also is going to bring to task the way we become very disconnected as a society because of the internet. A lot of things we're dealing with also have been engendered from living in a virtual world prior to this. So as much as we're going to a professional model in very much a virtual world, I think we're really going to reassess how we connect as individuals. And let's see. So we've got Mars entering Taurus in the house of home and family, focusing on your foundation. We've got on January 8th, we've got 2 planetary changes. Mercury enters the sign of Aquarius, your sign, and it's going to be there until March 15th. And it's going to retrograde on January 30th at 26 degrees of your sign. So this gives you a preview of what the next couple of years of Saturn in your sign is going to be about, what you want to anchor, what you want to commit to and structure, because the more you work under a Saturn transit, it challenges you. There are definitely going to be some issues you're going to have to confront with Saturn in your sign. But remember, you also have Jupiter in your sign. Not many people have that. The last time Saturn and Jupiter were in a sign was 20 years ago. So this is a big, big deal. And you really want to work with that, of how you can expand and also work with the challenges. And the other transit that's going on that date is Venus enters the sign of Capricorn and enters your house of imagination. And it'll be there until February 2nd. And that's really good for creative pursuits, for writing, for doing anything artistic, and doing healing work as well. On January 11th, there's a really exciting combination. Mercury meets up with Jupiter, the luckiest planet, and that can bring brilliant ideas. It falls in your first house of self and new beginnings. It's a great day for launching campaigns, for selling and marketing and networking, great for meeting people, great for dating, great for feeling optimistic, great for doing manifesting work. So that's a really helpful energy. Plus, the 2 form a sextile to Chiron, the wounded healer, and that's also really good work for energy for doing healing work, because all of us are dealing with wounds and pain and loss. This has been a terrible time for the world. So we're all doing healing work together, and you're the one leading us in this new age of Aquarius, of how we can really connect and heal together and grow exponentially. And I really think we will. And on the 12th of January, there's more challenging influence because Venus squares Chiron, the wounded healer. And Venus is in your house of the subconscious mind, and Chiron's transiting in your house of thoughts and ideas. Might bring up painful memories, but just work with that energy. On the 13th of January, we have a new moon that takes place at 12 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time at 23 degrees and 13 minutes of Capricorn. And new moon is always a time of setting new intentions, and it does fall in your house of imagination, which is always helpful for manifesting. But on that date, Mars is squaring Saturn in the sky, and Mars is transiting in your house of home and emotional comfort, squaring Saturn in your first house. So that could be friction with family or home, or just feeling really blocked. So not the easiest of energy, but just, definitely focus on what you want to initiate new year, because that's the first new moon of the year. And on the following day, Uranus stations direct in your house of home and family at 6 degrees of Taurus. So we feel that energy 5 days before and 5 days after. Uranus is the ruler of your sign in modern astrology, and it's the planet of brilliance and ingenuity, but also chaos. And you can expect the unexpected with that energy, and we're all going to feel it. And it could be unexpected situations with family or real estate, or just feeling unsettled internally. Just, know that we're all feeling it, and just kind of, it will pass. And then on the 17th of January, Jupiter, which is transiting in your sign, squares Uranus in your house of home. And that can bring unexpected opportunities for real estate, if you're looking for a new place to live, or if you're looking to buy a place or sell, or if you have your own business, it's excellent for that. But it also can exaggerate what we're all dealing with the hectic energy of the middle of January. So just knowing that it's going to be a bit chaotic. You are the sign of chaos and brilliance, among other things. So you're kind of familiar with that kind of energy. On the 19th of January, we begin your birthday season. So I wish you happy birthday in advance. And the sun is transiting in Aquarius from January 19th until February 19th this year. And the sun is transiting in your first house. So much energy focused on Aquarius, Mercury in your sign, Saturn and Jupiter, Mercury will retrograde in your sign, and now Uranus is just stationed direct. Lots of Uranian energy. Really, again, giving us such a preview of the age of Aquarius. On the 20th of January, that's kind of hectic energy because we've just had the Uranus station. Mars meets up with Uranus in the sky in your house of home and family. That can be really volatile around domestic situations and just people really getting easily triggered. So recognizing that that's not easy energy. On the 23rd of January, we have much easier energy and creative and romantic energy. Venus forms a sextile to Neptune in Pisces. That's really good for manifesting. It's good for going on a date. It's good for creating. It's good for writing. Very nice energy. And Mars squares Jupiter in the sky that day. So Mars is transiting in your house of family, and it's squaring Jupiter in the sky in your first house. So that could be a lot going on, being very busy, but I think it's going to be a nice day, you know. On the 26th of January, there's more hectic energy because the sun, which is transiting in your sign in the first house, squares Uranus in the sky, and Uranus is transiting in your house of home and family. So that could also be a little bit unsettling emotionally. And Neptune in your house of the subconscious mind squares the nodes of fate. And that can be difficult as well. That can it can be very faded connections, but it can also be emotional. It can dissolve connections as well. So that's a little tricky. And on the 28th of January, we have a full moon that takes place at 2:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at 9 degrees and 6 minutes of Leo. And this falls in your house of career. That can bring fruition to something you've been working on, completion on a professional project. It will be emotional energy, and there will be endings in that full moon for sure, because Pluto's meeting up with Venus in Capricorn in your house of endings. But there is a completion to that energy. And on the 30th of January, Mercury retrogrades in your sign, and we'll feel that a few days before. And I think that also, again, you know, really figuring out what the next couple of years have in store for you, what you want this story to be, and what you need to work on more. What do you need to brush up on? Because it's going to be a lot of learning the next couple of years. I wish you a lot of luck. You're leading us now, Aquarius, and it's going to be a whole new age. So thank you very much. Take care.